How was Zach?
How was Zach?
I mean,
he's fine. Yeah, he got hit in the back of the head when he recovered that fumble, but he was fine. He could have went back in if we needed him to.
How about Chris McCain?
McCain, we took to the hospital, waiting on the evaluation and the report.
what do you suspect? What was the?
It was something with his head, I think.
And Wilkerson?
Wilkerson hurt his knee, so we'll get an MRI on that early in the week and see how that turns out.
Jeff, you leaned on the run a lot tonight. Was that the game plan? Is the condition of the opponent or just a variety of things?
Just a variety, trying to mix it up, not being dependent on one phase of the game. And I thought the offensive line played excellent. I thought EC ran really hard. And again, when I say the offensive line, that's the tight end included and the fullback. So I thought we played really well up front and kept us out of the ball at 3rd and longs and kept the chains moving. And so I thought the guys up front really did a nice job of allowing us to do that.
Jeff, your defense was attacking, pressuring all day long. Do you feel like they kept Washington State from ever getting into any kind of a flow or unit?
Yeah. I thought the defense played excellent. We didn't pressure. He had a little bit of time to throw, but we did get some pressure sometimes on him. But I thought the guys in the back end did a really nice job of mixing up coverages. I thought our defensive staff did an excellent job of game planning and putting the guys in a position, and then we executed well. And so, really the only big play was an unbelievable catch by 86. He made a great catch over there. But I thought the secondary played really well, and defensive line played well as far as the run was concerned. So I thought it was a very, very good effort on the defensive part.
But the game plan for Zach, did it differ from others? Did you reduce anything, or just had a different package, or?
No. Every game is a little different. Every game you go into, depending on what the defense gives you and things like that. And I thought he managed the game very, very well today, and ran the offense efficiently. Didn't turn the football over, which was key, obviously, coming into this game. And so I thought he played really well.
When he doesn't turn the ball over, how good is he and can he be?
When we don't turn the ball over. When we don't turn the ball over, which is key, then, obviously if you're not giving the defense a short field, you let them play on a long field and use your special teams, and turnovers are the name of the game, really. I mean, if you don't turn the football over, you have a much better chance of being successful. And so we didn't turn the ball over except for when it got really, really wet and out there. A couple exchange with the center and one with the back when the bridge was in. But besides that, I thought it was a pretty efficient game by not turning it over.
How nice is it coming out with a lopsided win like this, especially after last week's performance?
Well, it was great. Obviously we were disappointed last week. Didn't play to our potential or capabilities, and it's when you get adversity like that, it's always really important to pull together. And I thought our team did a great job of that through the week of preparation and work, and the focus going into the game was excellent. And so I thought the mindset was great, and I'm very proud of our team for the way leadership surfaced throughout the ranks, and the focus coming in and the execution.
How much did you sense that Jeff sort of took accountability and wanted to maybe not redeem himself, but make good for some struggle for us?
Well, of course. I mean, if you've ever known anybody, or if you had your son that played that position or anything like that, it's a tough position. And sometimes weeks don't go the way you want them to go. And more than anyone else on the field, the focal point is typically on the quarterback when they play well and when they don't play well. And so I thought it was great all week long that the support was there for him from our team. from the coaching staff to give him confidence to bounce back, because it's not easy. It's not easy for a young man like that, who, and I think it's really important that he understands that he doesn't carry the burden of the whole team, sometimes on his shoulders, that he's one player and everybody has to pull together with it, and the strength of our team lies within our teammates and the encouragement that we have for each other, and I thought our team did a nice job of pulling together that way.
Did the game feel almost like a bit of a throwback to the days of of a Marchand or a JJ, where it was really a ball control offense? I think 288 yards on the ground, and EC carrying the ball as much as he did and really dictating the pace.
Well, when you can run the football effectively, like we did today, then the game's much different, because then you stay out a lot of third and longs. We didn't hurt ourselves with penalties today, and when you can be balanced, and you can play action, you can run it, those type of things, then it makes the game, the flow of the game, much more effective when you can make positive yards on first down. And so I thought we did that, and EC ran really well today, I thought. Again, a lot of the credit goes to those guys up front. I thought they really did a nice job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
What do you think of the Will? What do you think the Will Cap run? Obviously, he was only really supposed to get a yard or two there, but kept going.
I couldn't be happier for someone who is so passionate about this program and works so hard and so committed to things. And you're right, on 3rd and 1, I don't know if it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, it may have been 4th and 1 even. 4th and 1. And, so it was nice to see him break and go. And I don't think there was a player on our team or in that locker room that couldn't be happier for that guy. It was, took him a while to get there, but he got there.
Because your team has passed the ball quite a bit more than had run it most of the season, what can it do for an offensive line to have a game like this where, offensive guys, linemen, they want to run the ball? And what can it do for their confidence and their belief to have a game like this?
Well, I think it gives the offensive line a lot of confidence. That group is such a blue-collar group, and they work so hard every single day. There's a lot of times in practice where, receivers are running and catching balls, but every single day those guys are playing. And the work ethic up there, Coach Mahalchuk did a great job with them, preparing them to go. We were without Swinky tonight, and I thought Gates filled in very nicely at left guard. Don played the game, most of the game hurt, had a couple things, but he's, it's just a tough group. Matt Summers-Gavin's been sick all week long, but for those guys to really come out and control the line of scrimmage like they did, says a lot for their character.
What was the matter with Shrinky?
Shrinky's had an illness through the week, and so it's, we have to find out exactly what the diagnosis of that.
He was not dressed for this game?
No.
So Zach went through a few tests to make sure everything was fine, and you said he could have gone back in. You just, at that point, it probably, with the game out of reach, was...
Yeah, I thought it was a good time to give Bridge some playing time, and felt like the game was fairly under control, and he could have went back in, but there was no need for him to go back in.
So you checked him for concussion stuff, and then...
Yeah,
okay.
it was fine.
Does EC just continue to improve every game in your eyes? Seems like today was just another added performance.
Yeah, I thought EC showed a side to him today that we really haven't seen, with making people miss and cutting back and things like that, and keeping his feet underneath him. I thought he did a really nice job there. I thought we got some quality minutes from Mike Manuel. CJ had a couple real nice runs. So I think part of that is keeping EC a little bit fresh as well. But EC ran very hard today and made some people miss. And so he continues to improve. I think with experience and seeing the holes and knowing how to hit them and things like that. I've said this before, that the more experience he gets, the more he hits the holes harder, because he has confidence in it. And when he hits the holes harder, he can run harder and break tackles. And so I thought he saw the holes really well today, and he made some really nice cuts to hit the seams, and very productive.
What was behind the decision to switch up kickoff return guys? I think it was started at the end of the first half.
Kickoff return
You
guys?
put Manuel in there instead of Edmund.
He was out today. He pulled his calf muscle on Thursday,
Okay.
so he was out today. He did not dress today.
What does Manuel showed you recently that earned him playing time?
Well, he's working really hard in practice. I think he's to the point now where he understands what we're doing, and he's a good player. And again, Coach Gould does a phenomenal job of preparing those guys. And anytime you get someone new coming in, he did a real nice job in the spring as well. But I think he's picked up the offense now and understands what we're doing in all phases of the game, not just the run game, but in pass protection. And so it's nice to see him get in there and make some plays.
Oftentimes we see teams go in the locker room at the half with big leads and end up in the second half losing the game. What was your message to the team going into half?
Well, that it was 0-0 at halftime, and I was really pleased with. I really didn't need to say anything because I could tell by their focus and their calmness that they weren't too giddy about having a lead. It was more about what to continue to do to execute in the second half, and so I think they showed a lot of maturity today with that. As far as the focus it was going to take, because we know how explosive Washington State can be. And so I thought the defense kept the pressure on, and of course coming out the first half, the first series and taking it down scoring was a big drive as well.
What did you think of Bridgeford the time he was in there?
Well, I didn't do much. I mean, at that point we were trying to use clock and run the football, and I thought he managed it well. It's a tough situation, as rainy and sloppy as it got, down the stretch there, and it wasn't so much him as I think the ball slipped out of the center's hands a couple times. So, it was unfortunate that the weather was like it was. But he threw a couple nice passes to a screen on a third down that converted a third down. I thought he threw another nice ball to Keenan coming underneath, and Keenan dropped it. That would have converted a third down as well. So, but I thought he went in there and handled the offense well.
What is it about Cecil Whiteside? Like good things happen when he's in the game. But just putting him in position to do well, or?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he's a very good player. I think our linebacking core, the depth of our young linebackers, are going to be one of the strengths of our team because, with Wilkerson, when Wilkerson went down, you can always rely on Cecil to come in and do a nice job, and McCain's playing well, and so it's nice to have some depth at that position because we were putting those guys in some different positions today, not just coming off the edge, but they were in coverage and walked off, and I thought they did a nice job. But Cecil plays really well and really hard. Going to be a really good player.
Is he the best Cecil you've had as a coach?
Is he what?
The best Cecil you've had as a coach.
I have to think if there's been any others. I don't think there's been any others, so that would make him the best Cecil.
Toward the end of the game, Gallus went up. Is he okay?
He's okay. He's banged up. He had a shoulder. That was pretty bad, and then he had a rib. His rib was he was really hurting there. But he's as tough as nails. I mean, that guy is extremely tough and competitive, and but he was banged up. The whole offensive line right now. You walk through the locker room. The whole offensive line, they're beat. I mean, they're beat. They played really, really hard. It was a physical football game, and I would attribute this win, at least any success that we had on offense, to the offensive line.
Jeff, in spring ball, I'm sure you recognize the possibilities you had with Keenan and Marvin, and obviously spent most of the season trying to get them involved because that's where your talent. Now, what does a game like tonight show your future opponents? Because up to now, they've been pretty much worried about the passing game. What does the game kind of like this show your future opponents?
Well, each week's different. I think if they understand that you have the ability to run the football, it makes you more balanced and it makes people control it. And it makes people have to deal with the run, leave those guys, to not let them load up on those guys. Exactly what you're talking about. Because if they can stack the box and stop the run, then you can throw the ball. If they spread out to try to double cover those guys and leave you a 6-man box or even a 7-man box at times, then you should be able to run the football. And so, I mean, it's always beneficial to be balanced. And, you know, so, you know, this one feels really good because I'm really proud of the kids to overcome adversity. But, you know, the first thing they said in the locker room was back to work. You know, so they were still hungry.
So, Coach, what do you do now with this win behind you? What do you look ahead for Oregon State next week?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to look at that tomorrow. You know, tomorrow we'll start on Oregon State, and haven't seen much of them this year. There really hasn't been a lot of crossover games that we've been able to watch their tape much. But we'll go to work on them tomorrow. You know, and so need another really good week of practice, great focus, great intensity, and get to come back here one more time. It's going to be senior day, you know, next week, and I think there's 21 seniors going to play their last game, and so it's going to be an important day.
Good.